B2B sales isn't a skill you can just pick up by attending a workshop. It takes practice, dedication, and time to master. The problem is that the training most salespeople get isn't effective. Over 90% of workshop and seminar content is forgotten within 30 days. However, there is a better way. Unlike other sales training programs, our Momentium system combines traditional teaching techniques, an interactive sales simulator, and video conference coaching. Allowing salespeople to learn and practice new skills is what sets us apart from other training providers. Our training programs have proven to be more effective than any workshop or seminar. We improve sales forces, guaranteed. Each week, your salespeople will complete one training module, which consists of several lessons and simulated sales calls. Each module requires learners to learn new concepts, practice those concepts in simulated sales calls, and confirm their understanding in recap sessions and video conference coaching. First, the Coaching Academy contains short, interactive, and focused lessons that will teach salespeople the skills and techniques they need to be successful. We devote time to core concepts and advanced tools every salesperson needs to know. Every concept is delivered one at a time, ensuring salespeople have a chance to practice concepts before moving on to new ones. After learning a new skill, salespeople must complete a series of 3 lifelike sales calls where they open, develop, and close a deal.
Christy, what do you think is the single biggest development opportunity for your sales force?
Our team members are tech experts who traditionally relied on their tech knowledge to sell. More and more, we are dealing with non-IT people who need a different approach.
Momentium provides learners the opportunity to put techniques into practice immediately. This develops better habits leading to greater sales success. After successfully completing the sales simulation in each module, you'll review the key factors that led to the success in those sales calls. This guided reflection is crucial when it comes to creating long-term mastery. Beyond being the most effective sales training system available today, organizations that use Momentium enjoy several other benefits as well. The online training lets us track and record activity within each module. We use this information to benchmark your team's performance and show you how each of your salespeople are improving.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our second keynote speaker, Mr. Burhanuddin Qureshi. He's currently working as Head of Sales and Trade Marketing at Hilal Care Private Limited. His expertise in supporting companies through critical startup or turnaround situations, rapid growth, market expansions, accomplished career track record for delivering and sustaining revenue and profit growth within highly competitive telecom and FMCG sectors of Pakistan market. He's an exceptional communicator with a hands-on sales style, strong negotiation skills, exceptional problem-solving skills, and a keen customer need assessment aptitude. Aggressively identify opportunities where he develop his focus and provide tactical business solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Mr. Burhanuddin Qureshi. Burhan sahab, hope all is well with you.
Alhamdulillah, all is well.
Awesome. So without any further delay, I will now hand the floor over to you, and then inshallah we'll catch up after your keynote. All right, all the best.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank C2 Management Consultants for providing me the opportunity to come here as a guest speaker and address on the topic. And in fact, when Afan initially contacted me for this event and told me about the process and everything about this event, so the first thing that got clicked into my mind was, now this is also a new way of, conducting seminars and conferences and going digital. So this is actually creating a value for customers like us who are in search of knowledge and who get to hear different people's perspective and industry experiences. Just like I'm very fueled up and energized with the initial keynote speaker, Mazhar Hasnaini. The way he presented was extremely well and very knowledgeable stuff that he presented. So coming to the scenario that is currently, impacting us all, which is the COVID scenario. So initially, when this scenario entered into the Pakistani market, and there was a sort of panic, and people got disturbed, socially, economically, emotionally, and almost like on every dimension. So people were there. There was a chaos, and there was a state of panic, and people had to make up a choice as to how to come to a normal now for this. So during this period, since I'm from the sales background, I was doing a market visit, and I certainly saw a panic in the market with the different, impositions being applied by the state to have a control on this pandemic spread. So the market was reacting in a very different manner, and generally the concentration of the trade was to focus on key items, like for example, food items and all that, so that they can invest in the right direction to keep right stuff in their shop. And while I was doing this market visit, so I came across certain retailers who were at the initial phase of communication when we pitched our product and to them. So they were with the opinion that, are you like selling food stuff? So we are ready to buy it. Are you selling sanitizers? We are ready to buy it. But for rest of the categories that we are dealing, probably personal care and home care products, so we are a bit reluctant. And they were like showing an emotion as to how the market is responding. And initially, due to the lockdown and everything, people were trying to gather food stuff in the market at their home places, in fact, to have ample stocks with them to survive. And it was more of a survival scenario. So during this time, an amazing response came from the market, and there was a shift, in the total customer perception and customer buying behavior. So as an initial reaction when this came up, obviously we are dealing in personal care and home care products. There was an initial dip in the market due to closure of retail outlets and different lockdown going on in the area. So one thing that I would really like to comment here is, as a first instance of this panic and everything going on, the first thing that came to our mind as Hilal Care was to safeguard our people who are exposed in the market and who are at risk. And in this state of panic, and initially we closed our sales operations, and we closed our sales operations for almost like 12 to 13 days. So what happened is, when we with the perspective, we had a care mindset for our people, and I was with the thought that obviously if a sales boy goes into the market and he's exposed, so there is a very big chance of him getting into this pandemic and putting himself at risk. But after when we did this close down and our sales operation got closed, so within a few days, I started getting feedback from my regional heads and from my sales team that their industry peers are actually working in the market, and things, after the initial panic and all, things are starting to get to the normal. Although it's not the exact normal, but at some stage of the market is at a stage where things are turning back, and there is obviously the customer settling down, and his behavior and preferences are actually coming back in a shape which were at the initial stage were more centric towards emergency or survival products. So after this scenario, we opened up our sales operation again on the request of our sales team and all, that they want to go out into the market, and they had this confidence with them. And it was a great initiative, taken by the management, who approved the initial closure of the sales operation, because it's not very easy for a commercial organization to, who are into the business of selling, to stop selling your products. But this initial break that we gave to our sales team, actually, it gave the confidence back to the sales team. Plus, the initial, the state of panic came to a stable position. So when my sales team again went into the market with our products, offering and everything, so ultimately, what we experienced was a gain in our overall sales, and we were gaining, our enablers like retail productivity and our volumes and value of business was ultimately growing. And because of The reason because of that initial state of panic was being neutralized by the sales team also, and they went into the market and they were more geared up and they were acclimatized with the scenario, so they were in a better position to serve to the market with the basics of sales. Coming to the next part, what I would say is conventionally we have been seeing that the channel has been growing since long time. Initially, what we had in our market mindset was a conventional, Kiryana store, then a general store. Then the concept of self-service stores entered Pakistan, and self-service stores started to opening, and consumer got shifted to this preference. Although previously we were living in a more grand style of we used to send a grocery list to a store and he used to deliver that product to our home, but latterly we accepted this module, and in fact got into different stores who were offering self service and did our grocery shopping. And also we had the choice of different brands lying in the shelf, of which we can select one which gave us the most customer value and everything. So now the channel is reviving, and when I see the statistics which tell me that there are like 80 million mobile subscribers and 82 million broadband subscribers, e-commerce industry and everything is growing around us. So my focus will be just like what we are trying to do in Hilal Care is we are trying to build up a channel which is an e-channel, a channel which will be based on the customer preferences who are actually now digitized, and they in their life preferences are over the internet and experiencing things which are being advertised to them, and they put up a buy option for them. Because of the COVID scenario, things have quicked up, or they have like grown faster. And I think in the recent times, the online shopping and everything has grown by miles. In fact, I was reading, so it was like 72% overall growth, and everything, and something which was like predicted to be a $1 billion market by 2020 has actually grown twofolds. So what we need to realize as companies is, are we available on the e-channels? Have we really started thinking about e-channels? Have we devised a e-commerce strategy for our products and services? Because now customers, starting from a basic minimal product, from a soap to maybe a laptop, computer, and even to probably in coming times to buy a car, so they are using this medium. And the statistics that I've shown you for these digital customers actually is a depiction of how the consumer is behaving, and what are his preferences, and where does he spend his time, and what are the buying behaviors of that customer. So ultimately, my today's discussion will be focused on what I need to promote to all the audience is that companies now really have to become very quick into the selling and distribution model through e-commerce. Now, currently, as I told you earlier, in Hilal Care, we are already have alliances, strategic alliances, and channel partners who are marketplaces, online deliveries, and everybody who are dealing into our products and distributors. They are e-retailers, e-wholesalers, and a lot of different categories emerging. And along with this, a new concept that is emerging around is the e-commerce distributors. Now, the e-commerce distributors, there are basically two kind of them. Once a consumer interacts with your product on an online platform and clicks to the link, so there is an order generated, and in order to fulfill that order in any part of Pakistan, you need to have an e-commerce distributor who can actually take your product and deliver at the doorstep of the customer. So uh, basically, the concept is, now you there are two modules to go about it. What I would say, I mean, that in the current market scenario, there are channels which have got a quite a weighted approach, and that their customer footfall and everything is very high. So you have a special focus on these local modern trades and international modern trades available in Pakistan. Just like that, the shift is going towards the online consumer. So there are online platforms. Now there are online platforms which are top rated, which have a lot of customer footfall, and customers are buying from those online platforms and getting satisfied. So a multiple strategy needs to come in. Now you have to go through those platforms as well, and you have to create your own e-commerce platform along, so that the reach of your product and services is to the maximum, and you can create a very important dimension which will be a key element for the future is that you need to have customer data, because all these other platforms that are doing channel business for your product and services have customer data with them, which will be a costly affair in the future. But in order to it's better for the organization that they develop a platform in which they have their own e-commerce module developed on their website, and they can place marketing stuff on different available social platform, which can actually direct a customer to your own company website and create a transaction which is an e-commerce transaction. So e-commerce distribution platform, which is, because ultimately you are dealing in physical products, so whatever you do electronically cannot be transmitted to you as a electronic product unless and until you are a customer of digital products, and that gets to you in online. For example, if you want to buy a mobile app or something like that, that can be digitally transferred. But since a lot of consumer companies are dealing in physical products, so you need to have a network, and you need to have a distribution network in terms of through which you can satisfy your customer at his doorstep. And this actually process needs a lot of infrastructure development, and there is a lot of departmental coordination. I mean, apart from the commercial management, you need to align the value chain, you need to align IT infrastructure, which will actually enable you and make you a digital organization. So generally, the concept that prevails in the market is, there are specific industries which are technological and digital and everything, like telecom and this. But now consumer companies, to my knowledge and to my experience, I would say very quickly need to get transformed if you want to catch the market in the right way, and if you really want to satisfy your customer at every digital touch point, in addition to the conventional touch point.
Are you done with your keynote? Awesome. Uh, I was writing notes. Sorry, I was just kind of carried away. Um, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Um, Very amazing and a brave story that you shared about your sales team. I didn't know about this, although we have had many conversations, but you never shared that it was your sales team who opted to go back in the field out there and sell. Quite encouraging. It was certainly for me. Absolutely, and that resulted in your in the gain in your overall sales. So that's phenomenal. How did you feel about that, Ranza? How did your team feel about that? Did you celebrate? Did you get a time moment to celebrate digitally
Yeah,
or
definitely we celebrated. But the concept that I was trying to build over there when I was discussing this subject was, the initial confidence that came from our management, build up this trust in the whole tiers of sales. You know, caring for your people. I mean, a lot of us were talking about caring and all that, but this was a real action for me. I mean, I initially discussed with this my management that this pandemic is spreading and there is a panic and people are panic around. Even the trade and everybody's panicked, and markets are being closed down, and there are lots of stoppages for our people to go into the market, police checking for their documents and everything and all. So I said, "Okay, in this state of panic, I mean, I care for the people, so did the management, and we all took up a brave step, closing this sales operation, which is your bloodline actually. And
mashallah?
ultimately, what happened was the sales team got more confident out of this initiative because they really appreciated this effort. And by their will, they came back to us and said, "Okay, I mean, this is not possible. How can we like sit at home and we don't work because all our industry peers are in the market and everything is going on." So they forced us that they want to come back and they want to work and they want to increase or maximize, the business volume and get into the market back into action.
Awesome. So a huge amount of applause for your sales team out there who took this courageous move. So congratulations once again.